I'm Nancy Lyons. I'm a member of the Historical Sites Commission of Hoffman Estates. We're here today at Sunderlage House, and we have an encampment of the 8th Illinois Volunteer Cavalry, and they're demonstrating and showing how the soldiers of the Civil War lived in the camps.
Well, this is everything that a trooper, except for the boxes, this is everything a Civil War cavalry trooper would have needed when he was on campaign. Everything from his weapons to his food implements, his cooking, his tobacco, his cartridges, his hardtack.
Oh, it is hard.
Yep. Oh yeah. His gauntlets, everything he would have needed. His dog tent, what they call the dog tent, he would have carried half of it. Another trooper would have carried the other half. If they had time, they would button it together and set it up. If they did not have time, then they would set it up as a lean-to. Or they would just simply lay it on the ground and sleep on top of it next to the saddle. In the Gettysburg campaign, the 8th Illinois Cavalry was in the saddle for 14 hours a day. Another hour to take care of the horse, another half an hour, 45 minutes to prepare your meal doesn't leave for a lot of sleep. So that's why they carried the shelter half, and most often they stayed in that. Now, if they were going to be in a spot for a month or a couple of weeks and their wagon trains could keep up with them, then they would stay in the A-frames. That's a more permanent structure. Now, if they were in winter quarters, most of them would be pretty ingenious with cutting down timber and building a small little log cabin with a nice little fireplace where they could get 5 or 6 guys in it. They would put about 5 or 6 guys in those tents, as many as probably 3 in this. So, now when they were at Camp Kane in St. Charles, Illinois, they were staying in what looked like a huge circus tent. It's called a Sibley tent. And there were 35 guys in one tent. Didn't leave for a lot of privacy. Normally, most cavalry troopers would be in the range of 5'5" to 5'9", maybe 5'10", 125, 130 pounds. Their equipment would probably be as little as another 30 pounds. So you're asking the horse to carry about 160 pounds. But then you also have to carry everything the horse needs. So you need to carry the oats, barley, which was good for a soldier because we shared that with him. You carried his saddle, he carried everything, a water bucket, everything that horse would need, because that's your most important piece of equipment.
What I got here is basically the 3 weapons that the cavalry trooper would be carrying on himself. His saber, his pistol, and the Sharps carbine. One of the things before they came up with the Sharps carbine was the musketoon before 1860. Basically, it's a chopped down muzzle-loading rifle. It was hard to handle on the saddle, but that's all they had at the time. When the war started, troopers were then issued the Sharps carbine, which is a single-action breech-loading rifle. Instead of biting off the cartridge and putting it down the muzzle, they take that paper cartridge with the bullet already on it, put it in the breech, close the breech, which would shear off the back of the paper, put their cap on, and they were ready to go. You could fire about a good cavalryman 6 rounds a minute, compared to a good infantryman with his muzzle-loader musket going at 3 rounds a minute. So at the time, this was state of the art. So you can just imagine a couple hundred guys in a line, 5 yards interval. You're throwing a lot of lead down range.
And inside the house we have open house, tours of the house. The Schaumburg Township Historical Society has an ice cream social, so they're providing ice cream to our guests. And we also have musicians here today. We have the Kishwaukee Ramblers, who will be providing music appropriate to the Civil War period.